Imagine being able to transform those heaps of brittle, lifeless leaves into deep, nutrient-rich compost within just a few weeks, without pricey fertilizers or endless waiting. Now picture doing it with only a handful of kitchen staples and a bit of warm water to awaken billions of natural decomposers already living in your soil. This isn't a gardening myth or some chemical gimmick. It's a proven science-driven process that revives your garden in record time. Welcome to Plants Reformer, where we reveal nature's simplest, most powerful methods to nurture vibrant plants, enrich the earth, and keep crops flourishing all year long. Each autumn, gardeners face the same daunting challenge: mountains of fallen leaves that seem to linger forever. Left as they are, these piles can take half a year, or longer, to break down, often turning slimy or moldy in the meantime. Many people simply bag them up and throw them away, never realizing they're discarding pure organic treasure. Those crisp leaves are packed with carbon, a vital ingredient in compost creation. What they lack, however, is nitrogen and an easy food source for microorganisms. Composting is really a race among microbes, and without the right balance, that race moves at a snail's pace. But here's the exciting part. You can supercharge nature's microscopic workforce using nothing more than yeast, sugar, and molasses. When these ingredients meet warm water, a remarkable chain reaction occurs. A burst of microbial life. The sugar and molasses serve as instant nourishment for bacteria and fungi, while the yeast introduces billions of beneficial organisms eager to get to work. Together, they multiply rapidly, releasing enzymes that break down cellulose and lignin, the tough plant fibers that make leaves so resistant to decay. This jumpstarts decomposition far faster than nature usually manages on its own. Instead of waiting 6 months, you can see rich compost forming in as little as 2 or 3 weeks. Best of all, it's 100% natural. No synthetic additives, no lab-made boosters, just biology in motion. Let's talk about how to make it. For roughly 1 gallon, around 4 liters, of this compost activator, you'll need 1 tablespoon, about 10 grams, of dry yeast, ½ cup, roughly 100 grams of sugar, 2 teaspoons, about 30 milliliters, of molasses, 4 liters of warm water, kept between 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. Temperature is key. Too hot, and the yeast dies. Too cool, and it won't come alive. Think of it like preparing bread dough. Pleasantly warm, never scalding. Start by mixing the sugar and molasses into the warm water until the liquid is smooth and slightly thick. Then sprinkle in the yeast and stir gently. Let the blend rest for about half an hour to an hour in a shaded, warm place. Soon, you'll notice foam forming on top. That's your signal that the microbes are active and multiplying at full speed. Now for the transformation itself. Gather your dry leaves into a loose pile or spread them evenly over the area you plan to compost. Pour the activated mixture over the leaves using a watering can or sprayer. You don't need to soak them, just moisten them well. Excess water will cut off oxygen and slow everything down. If the leaves are especially dense or brittle, give the pile a light toss with a rake or shovel so the solution seeps through. Finally, add a thin layer of soil on top. This layer locks in moisture, introduces native microbes, and creates the perfect microenvironment for composting. Within a day or two, you'll feel warmth coming from the pile, a sure sign of microbial energy at work. Those tiny organisms are busy converting dead matter into living soil. Over the next few days, you might notice a mild earthy aroma and even wisps of steam, particularly in cooler weather. That's normal. It means the compost is heating up as decomposition speeds along. By the end of the first week, the leaves will start to darken and soften. After 2 weeks, they'll begin to crumble like early compost. By week 3, you'll have rich, dark humus that smells like the floor of a healthy forest. This isn't just decayed debris. It's a nutrient powerhouse brimming with plant-ready nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Even better, it improves soil structure, helping it retain moisture and breathe more freely. The result? Deeper roots, stronger plants, and a more resilient garden overall. To keep your compost thriving, make sure it stays moist but never soggy. The right dampness feels like a wrung-out sponge, humid but not dripping. If it dries out, simply sprinkle on more of your yeast solution or add a little plain water. Every 3 to 4 days, turn the pile with a shovel or garden fork. Proper aeration keeps the microbes fed with oxygen and ensures your compost keeps breaking down quickly and efficiently. When oxygen runs low, decomposition grinds to a crawl and can produce unpleasant odors. If you live in a colder region, insulate your compost pile with a light layer of straw or a few extra leaves to help it retain warmth. In hotter, sunnier areas, keep it shaded so it doesn't dry out too quickly. Achieving the right balance of warmth, moisture, and airflow is the true secret behind fast, clean composting. If your activation mixture doesn't foam up, chances are your yeast is inactive. Always make sure to use fresh yeast and confirm that your water temperature is within the ideal range. When your compost starts to smell sour or rotten, it's usually a sign that it's too wet and lacking oxygen. In that case, give it a thorough turn to let air back in and restore balance. If decomposition seems sluggish, mix in a handful of mature compost or healthy garden soil. This introduces a wider variety of beneficial microbes to kickstart the process again. Once you've practiced this method a few times, you'll develop a natural feel for the perfect levels of heat, moisture, and air your pile needs. Composting quickly becomes intuitive, easy, efficient, and deeply satisfying. The contrast between untreated and treated leaves is dramatic. Untreated piles remain dry, rigid, and slow to decay for months, while treated ones transform within weeks into soft, dark, crumbly compost. When you scoop up the finished product, it should fall loosely through your fingers and carry the clean, earthy scent of living soil. Use this nutrient-rich compost to revitalize garden beds, refresh potted plants, or spread as a natural mulch that nourishes the ground as it breaks down. Gardeners who adopt this simple technique often notice vegetables maturing faster, flowers blooming more vibrantly, and soil staying moist far longer. That's the magic of working alongside nature instead of against it. By turning fallen leaves into compost, you're doing more than tidying up. You're completing the natural cycle of renewal in your garden. This easy recipe costs almost nothing, saves valuable time, and turns waste into nourishment. It's sustainable, effective, and consistently reliable. So the next time you find yourself staring at a yard covered in dry leaves, skip the trash bags. Grab a bucket, whip up this microbial elixir, and pour it over your leaf piles. In just a few short weeks, you'll have rich, living compost in your hands, and your garden will repay you with abundance. If you enjoyed this guide, be sure to subscribe, share it with fellow gardeners, and join us at Plants Reformer for more tested, science-based methods to keep your soil healthy the natural way. Your garden's next transformation begins with one simple pour.